Hello. Okay. So I think I'm good. And I need to adjust my camera settings. Um, but first, okay. Hi guys. I'm here. I'm just trying to finalize some setup. Uh, This looks better. Okay, I see we're good. All right. Welcome, guys. Oh, sorry. I need to finalize some settings here. So I didn't get distracted too much. But I'm sure you guys can hear me. Okay, I think ready to roll, ready to get started, ready to make impact. There's a lot of frame drops for me here. I'm not sure why. But just a moment. Let me be sure I'm in the right settings. Okay. Uh, Welcome guys to another episode of Smart Side of Day. This is episode 012. I don't want to say thanks for joining. I just want to be sure my other channels are up and running here. Um, okay, so if you have questions, drop them in the question in the chat window. And if you haven't already, you might want to do a follow so you get notifications when I do stuff. So I got 3 videos already, which looks good. So today on Smart Dev Saturday, we'll be talking about getting started with Azure DevOps. Last week I talked about this whole DevOps thing, why it's beneficial to you, why you should get started using it, and all sort of stuff. And today I'll be telling us how to get started with Azure DevOps. Um, just button up here. Yeah. So, how to get started with Azure DevOps. So, I'll just go ahead right now and start. Since my network seed might actually be a little bit impaired, so I'm gonna drop some of my monitors here. I'm gonna drop this also. Okay, so um, should be better now. Okay, looks a lot better now. Because some of you might have been seeing some frame drops, but looks like it's all gone now. And I think it was a network lag on my end. But yeah, that is it. Welcome again. I don't know how many times I say welcome today, because there's been some kind of crap against my devices have been doing to me this whole week. But yeah, we'll overcome. So again, I am Dara, and as you can see in the stuff right down below, if you haven't subscribed, you should subscribe and follow. And I started a podcast, anchor.fm/slash live. We might want to watch that, watch out for that for my weekly podcast. I post every Thursday, so you might set your reminder on your favorite podcasting application. So today, let's get started with the show. Um, I got my PC here, so let me just switch that view. Yeah, so don't mind this new build. This is just my browser doing some stuff. So let me actually shut down this so I didn't get some frame drops anymore. Okay, so to get started with Azure DevOps, pretty simple. all you need to do is go ahead to dev.azure.com. That's dev.azure.com. Don't mind the suggestions that are actually coming out to you. So you go to dev.azure.com. So that's it right there. Dev.azure.com is where you will go to get started. So once you hit that enter link, you get to the welcome page for Azure DevOps. So you can read more information about Azure DevOps, everything it does, and how awesome it is, to know that it's actually really awesome for you to do. And please, this is not an advertisement. We're just mentioning the awesome tools I use every day. Hi, Manish. Thank you for joining. Okay, please, if you have questions, drop them in the chat window. I will be sure to answer them. Yeah, so this is the Azure DevOps homepage. It might change tomorrow when you come here because Microsoft constantly makes changes to this website. So to get started, all you need to do is click on Start Free. If you have an account already, you sign in. If you have a GitHub account, so you can start freezing your GitHub account. So if you have repositories in GitHub and stuff you would like to use getting started here, you can uh, write on with that. So you can start free with GitHub or start free or just sign in if you have an account already. But for the purpose of today, I'll actually click on the start free, even though I have many accounts with Azure DevOps already, but I wouldn't use all those because this is a beginner level video on getting started with Azure DevOps. So the first thing you need to do is to sign in. So you need a Microsoft account or an Office 365 or M365 account. So that's maybe the ID you get from your organization or your company that uses maybe Office 365 or has an enterprise agreement with Microsoft. Or if you have a GitHub account, you can just get started with that. But I will go ahead and use my Microsoft account for this. Okay. Or let me use this account. Um, Let me use this account that I currently have. So I'm using Dara as daroladapo.com. I'll go ahead and click next on that. Then I'll get to sign in with my user ID, with my password rather. So I think my password for this account should be this. I'm not sure if that's still my password. Oh, wrong. Okay, seems like that password is correct. Asking me now if I want to stay signed in. I'll definitely click on yes. Okay, so it's asking me now to get started. So if I let me actually go ahead and zoom into this. Uh, my magnifier is actually just starting. So zooming into that, I can select the country I want to get started in. So let me say I want to get started. Sorry, that looks a little bit messed up. I want to get started in Nigeria because I'm based in Nigeria, and I can check if I want to get information about Azure DevOps offers and all that. So I'll just go ahead and continue. So it's now taking me to my Azure DevOps organization. That is what we call a tenant in Microsoft. So that is my Azure DevOps tenant, and I'll be signed in with Dara at Oladapo.com. It gave me a kind of funny name. I don't know why that is, but of course I can go ahead and change that. I will ignore this part for here for now where it says I should create a project to get started because there's a feedback that I have here that hasn't been treated where I should be able to select my work items templates. But of course, if I refresh this page, uh, okay, it's not actually a refresh. Sometimes when I do stuff, it just works. But I will ignore this part right now. I'll go to my organization settings and actually change this Dara 0202 to something better. So I'll call this SDS Dara and I'll save this because I don't like the default name it gave me. Normally, I should actually, uh, it actually gives me the option to choose my name, but I'm not sure why it didn't show up today. But yeah, It's just going ahead to make all those changes for me, and I think I am good to go. So if I go back to my thank you, Olumide. So if I go back to my Azure DevOps homepage now, you can see a little bit of difference here. That it shows me my work item process, because by default it uses basic. But normally I don't want to use basic for my work item process. I want to use something like Scrum or Agile. So I'll just select Scrum, and I'll call this Smooth Dev Saturday. Okay. And then I will give a description. This is a demo for Smooth Dev Saturday. I can give any description I want. And then what I'll go ahead and do now, I'll click on create project. Well, this page has been coming up quite a while now. I do not know why, but don't worry, you are still safe. Just click on go back home, and then you would see your project. But before we even get started with the project, I will go ahead to this settings page up here. This part over here. You can see this part over here. Uh, and then I would go to my theme, because I love that theme a lot. So I'll just switch to a dark theme. But for the purpose of this demo, I will switch back to the light theme, so that you know view it can be better when you're viewing it. But what I'm also gonna do is I will zoom into the browser window, so you can actually see this stuff better. So I'll switch back to the light theme, so that everybody can see this very well. Okay, so this is it now. Um, Before I even get started with the project, let me get started with the organization part of this thing. So if I go to organization settings, like I went the other time, I can change my URL for my organization. I can change, so I can put a privacy policy URL. I can put a description for my org. Let me just give you the description here. This is Smooth Dev Saturday. 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 Okay, that's one of Saturday, right? Is it this Saturday? I think it is. So let me use UTC plus one, because that is actually my time zone. And I should be able to see my time zone somewhere here. Where is my time zone? Okay, West Central Africa. My time zone is here. I go ahead and just save that. Okay, so I can go ahead to delete this organization if I don't need it anymore. But just to be safe, I wouldn't do that. Um, I can go to my projects, and it will show me the list of projects I have. I can start a new project from here or do whatsoever. Users is that part where I can add people or manage the users I currently have in my Azure DevOps organization. So let me talk a little bit about users. So if you're starting for free in Azure DevOps, what happens is you get access to 5 basic users. So I can add up to 4 additional users on this year, and they'll get to use Azure DevOps for free. But when I get to the 6th user, I will have to pay the license fee. And if you let me just open up a new tab here. If you go to Azure DevOps pricing, um, okay, that's it right there. Azure DevOps pricing. You're able to see the different pricing models that Azure DevOps uses. So just for purposes, I'll post this in the chat window, so you can follow that link if you want. Okay, so that is the link to get the pricing for Azure DevOps services. You can read more about it or contact a Microsoft agent close to you if you need to get started with that. And if you want it on-prem, you can choose the Azure DevOps Server option, and you get information about all that pricing. But today, my purpose of all this is not pricing. Okay, so you can add more users. So I think I have 3 users in this my tenant. So I can add this guy, and I can select the access level. So at basic means I'm able to push code, manage projects, manage some configurations based on the access level I actually have. Stakeholder means I'm only able to view stuff. I'm not able to manage anything or modify any settings in the organization. And Visual Studio subscriber means that person actually has some kind of licenses. So either the person is works in an organization that has an enterprise agreement with Microsoft or whatever. But I'll select basic for this, and I can select the just a moment. Okay, so I'll just add that person to this model Saturday tenants, and then it will go ahead to add this fellow here. But to actually be sure that this person actually gets the needed invitation, let me go ahead and open up my another instance of my browser. So I will just log into my email, and I normally should see the invite email from this my organization. So I'll need to complete my two-factor authentication here. So just a moment while I do that, because I'm connected to another phone down here. Okay, and I think yeah, all this information is correct. Please do not look at all that. Okay, so I'm signed into my email now, and if I go to my Azure DevOps email, I should be able to see that email that says I've been invited to an organization. I'm just waiting for that to load up now. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat window. I will see them and answer them. Uh, okay, so you can see the invite I got, the name, the link to the organization, the URL, the person who invited me, or the owner of the organization. I will just go ahead and join this organization, and then I will go ahead and review all the permissions and accept. If I'm not comfortable, of course, I will not accept, because it's my email. Uh, I'm not sure why this is happening, but I can log into the URL directly, I think. Let me just go ahead and copy that. Okay, it's loading up. So I just sign in with my ID now. Something is wrong, which I don't know, but let me just ignore that for now, because that is not the purpose of all this. So I can add more users if I want. I think I still have a user I can actually add. I think I created another sort of alias. So if I search for me and yeah, this person here, and I can add this person as a project administrator or a project leader. Project leader means I'm only able to read events and stuff that happen in the project. But I'll select project administrator for this purpose, and I go ahead and add this user. So it's running the task. It should be successful, and I have my team ready to go. So the billing section is the part where I I'm just waiting for it to load up. Okay, where I get to know if I'm exceeding my limit that is specified here. So I have 1,800 minutes per month build minutes to go ahead, and I can add more users if I want. You can see I have 5 basic users, and I can store artifact up to 2 GB and all that. If you need to get more, you go ahead and get it on that page. Auditing. So this is where you get the logs of everything that has happened in your organization. So you want to know what happened when it happened, you can always go ahead to check all that information in the auditing section of your organization. And you can export this log either to CSV or a JSON file. Well, I think I prefer JSON because I'm a programmer, of course. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And I will actually open that up. so you can see what it looks like. Okay, you can see what it looks like, and you can plug this to any analytics tools you actually have to get started with all that. But I'll go ahead and just close this. So let me just skip ahead on all these ones now. Okay, one thing I would like to show you now, the processes. Now, remember I said earlier on when I created the organization, and I didn't want to create a project at first because of for some reasons my feedback has not been fixed yet. So the default work item process is basic, but I don't know how to use basic work item process. So I know how to use Agile. I know Scrum. So I'll just go ahead and select Scrum as my default process. So when I'm creating new projects, the default template is actually Scrum. And I think with this, I'm good to actually go. Deployment pools, we'll get to that much later, maybe in the next 4 episodes or so. Um, okay, so let me go back now to my project home. And yeah, so let me go now into my project. Excuse me, I need to take some water. So you can see here, I got my people that are actually members of my organization, and I can favorite this project, if you like. And then I think let me reduce the view a little bit so we can see. Normally, if you're on a wide screen ish, this kind of the view you see, and this is what I see most times actually when I use Azure DevOps or something close to this. But let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so let's get started with wikis. Now you can see this page. The start of the project is where you see how many codes have been pushed, what build succeeded, what build failed, and all that. So that's where you see the start. Members are people that belong to this project. This private just shows the status of a project, is a public project or not. If you go to dashboard, so you can set up different kind of dashboards for your project. Maybe you want some people to see a specific sort of thing or whatever, but I will not be configuring dashboards in this episode. That will be a little bit much later. I just wanted to show us what that feels like. But I have no widgets configured yet, so I will come to that later on. But the most important part that I actually want to show today, one of the most important parts actually, is the wikis part. Um, so on the wikis page, I can create a project wiki or publish code as wiki. That will use something like a README file or whatever. But I like to create my own project wiki such that I'm able to manage that from one interface at once. Okay, so I can create flowchart, sequence diagrams, and all that. But let me just call this my project wiki, and of course, Markdown is supported here. So I can say smooth. You can see the preview as I type Saturday, and let me put some very awesome description in the description window. So I'll just do a little bit of copy and paste here. So pardon me while I go to lipsum.com to get some amazing text. Okay, I think I got the text I need for my description. And then, yeah, I got a very nice project description. Yeah, do you agree with me, everybody? uh, so, yeah, I got my project description. I can create tables and do stuff. So let me create a 3x4 table, maybe. I can say title, person, someone. Ooh. So I can create tables, find things happening. Don't mind the sort of fun I'm actually having here, but yeah, that sort of feels like. So I can create tables, I can add links. So I want to link maybe to an article somewhere. So I can say old project source, and I call this, just don't mind the link I'm putting here. Nope, it's gonna suggest some no problem. And so let me just go ahead and save this. And why I'm actually showing this part is for us to be able to see that if I go to my summary window, I should be able to add a project description somewhere here. Okay, overview window rather, not summary. So if I go to overview, why is it not showing up? Let me just refresh. Or maybe it's when I come back. Sometimes don't quite add up here. Anyways, I'll come back to that later. So let me go ahead and actually show the boards. So currently now I have no work items prepared in this organization. So let's say I'm planning to start a project. I can what's it called now? Just a moment. Okay, stream is still live. I just wanted to be sure. So I can create a new work item, either a bug or an epic or a feature, impediment, product backlog item, a task, or a test case. Okay, from Afejon. Afejon asks that what is Azure DevOps? So Azure DevOps is a suite of services by Microsoft that helps you to be able to manage projects. So it helps you manage your development lifecycle projects. Your projects. So it helps you manage the lifecycle, manage the build pipeline, so you can be able to do automated builds and releases. So I'm just listing the awesome stuff you can do with it. You're also able to manage your tests or your artifacts or plan your work. So think of it like the better Trello for managing your project, so you can move stuff around. And that's actually the part I'm getting to now. John, I hope I answered your question. Okay, so I'll just go ahead. So if you still have questions, please kindly let me know. I will answer them. But I hope I answered your question there. I normally, so this just a personal feedback. I don't like this view, to be honest, because I'm not so constant with what. Oh, thanks, John. So I'll go to the board view. This is actually the view I prefer using in Azure DevOps. Don't blame me. That's what I like. I like what I like. So if you're using this for the first time, you will get to see the welcome page. You can read through it if you want. And then now this is my favorite part. I like to manage stuff from the features perspective because I'm a features guy. But I can add product backlog items. So I'll go to my features view, and excuse me while I drink some water. Okay, so I can decide to add a new feature. Let's say I want to add welcome screen. So that's a feature. I want to add permission, granting permission. So actually, we'll actually build out a project with this. I will build out a project with this, and we'll see how all that works out for us. Granting permission. So we'll actually build out a mobile application and a web application. Permission grants. So let's just add those two features for now. Features, not features. Okay, so what I like to do now, because normally I don't like seeing these IDs, to be honest. That's just my personal view. So actually that will give me the power to be able to actually hide the IDs for my features. So if I save and close this, you can see that the IDs are gone. But of course, if I want to show it, I'll just go ahead and reactivate it. I'll come to the settings part of this bot later on. But I want to show, so if so I can assign this feature to someone. Let's say I assign it to this dude, even though I have not joined the organization yet. I assign this feature to this person, and let me assign this to myself. So you can see, so I'm able to actually manage all the life cycle, all the tasks, whoever is supposed to do it, and whatever here. And another awesome stuff is under here now. I'm not sure why this is so. If I click this ellipse, or let me start from here. If I click this ellipse, I'm able to add more stuff here. So I can add a product backlog item or a test scenario. So a test scenario might be graphics fitting on screen, um, and then text aligned properly. Let's just assume this is my test case for this scenario. I can also go ahead to add a bug. Maybe I've started writing the code. I can add a bug, maybe a user file the bug or whatever. I'll actually show us in the future episodes where we are able to get a bug maybe from your web application or mobile application and log it into Azure DevOps directly from whatever platform you're using for that. And you can also add a product backlog item. Say the user is supposed to see a welcome screen when launching the app for the first time. Okay, so I'm able to do all that inside here. I can edit the title, I can do all sort of stuff inside here. Also, what I'm able to do is move stuff around. So I can say, okay, I started working on the welcome screen, and then when I'm done with that, I can move it to the done place to show that this work item is actually completed. But for the purpose of this, I'll still move it to the new space because we've actually not started doing real work on this. And if I switch my view now to product backlog items, remember I added one PBI here, so I'll be using PBI for project backlog items now. They mean the same thing. So I've added a PBI here. Let's say I add another PBI actually. The user should be able to replay the welcome screen. Okay, and let's say now, what else? Let me just make sure those two are set. So if I switch my view now, and you don't have to worry about this saving, it actually automatically saves. So you don't have to worry about losing your work items and all sort of stuff. So if I switch to the backlog items view, I'm able to see the PBIs I've actually added in the features view because everything is interconnected. But as you know me, I don't like seeing IDs, so I'll just go ahead and check all that off. Yeah, but look, of course, this is the view I like. I like my features view so much, and that is what I'm gonna stick with. Um, so let me add a test case to this. Is permission granted. App should not crash if user denies permission, because this is one of the things that actually happened to me in the past. Okay, is that a test case? Here it is. So now let me actually do some sort of settings now. So I'll come back to bots a little bit now. I should be ending the stream in about for 24 minutes or so because I don't want to pass 1 hour normally, so I don't bore people up because I can see some people have gotten off already. But yeah, but of course, you can always watch the replay. So if I go to backlog items, I am able to see the PBIs I've added, and I can move them to feature sprints. Maybe in the next episode we will deal with sprints in a little bit more details, but just some stuff here. So I can add more PBIs here and go ahead to link them up later on. But I don't like to do such stuff. And I can move stuff around. So I can move it to say sprint 2, and I can move this to sprint 3. So I'm able to actually plan my projects ahead of time to be able to manage all the stuff. And let me actually switch this to features view. So welcome screen should start in sprint 2. Permission grant should start in sprint 3. Okay, current sprints, maybe there's no work to be done. Let's just that's just for fun. And in the sprint view, I'm able to manage the sprints that I have in my project. So I can go ahead and set my iteration dates, because this is actually very much important. So I can change the name also to say project init. Let me say start date is on Monday, end date is on Friday. I save and close that. Sprint 2, let me set the iteration dates for that. You can see the items I've actually added there that shows up there. Let me call this code starts, coding begins. And let me set that start date to automatically is actually advanced date for me in the view. So you can say I ended that project on a Friday. I ended the last sprint on a Friday, and it's fixing me up on a Monday, which is so good, and it ends on a Friday. Awesome. So I can see all my sprints now, and I can filter what I'm able to see, maybe stuff that are assigned to me or not. So I can manage all my sprints in the future as I so wish. So you can do all that in here. Queries, for the queries part, you're able to actually customize the what's it called? You're able to customize the results that are being passed back to you when you want to see some sort of report. So it's sort of used for reporting. So you can check and filter here for the queries, but I'll not be delving deep into this part because I've actually not worked with it very much deeply quite yet. Just a moment. Um, okay, so you can add new clauses and do stuff. You can run the query, and you see the result that come out for you. So this query is just giving me all my work items, and you can see them right here. So that is that about the boards. So I'll just run through the rest now. So if I go to repos is where I'm able to manage my source code. So I can, because this is the new project, I'm seeing nothing here because I need to actually connect it to an existing, maybe clone it afresh and start putting stuff in it, or I add it to an existing project. But what I should actually do here is, for the purpose of this, I'll just do this here. Um, I will clone this repository and start adding stuff to it right away. But even before I do that, um, because I want to be able, so for the repos part, I am also able to have multiple repositories on my project. So if I have, say, I have different teams working on different things, or maybe even it's one team working on the same project but on separate projects, I'm able to add that here. So I can go ahead and, so if I click on manage repositories here, I should be able to change the default name of this repository. So I'll just click on that, and normally an ellipse is there. I need to sort of click on it before it shows up. I don't know why that is. So I rename this to let me just say it's SDS mobile. So that's the sort of naming convention I like, but you can use any naming convention that you prefer. So what I also want to do, I want to add a web application to it. So I'll just go ahead and click a new repository and call it sds.web. I can decide to add a readme file and a git ignore file. To be safe, because I know I'm using Visual Studio, I will add the Visual Studio git ignore file and get started with that. And then I have my two repositories set up now, and then I'm good to go. For some reason, I need to refresh this page before this shows up. That is sort of weird, but no problem. We're safe. Um, okay, so It's asking me now because it cannot find the repository I navigated from. It's asking me if I want to switch my default repository to SDS.web. I wouldn't mind. I'll just go ahead and click yes. It doesn't hurt. So you can see the files are actually added here. I can go ahead and clone this now and get started writing my code. And also, I can clone my mobile project, and you can see the difference between that and this. So what I want to do is I want to add a readme file and also add my Visual Studio Git ignore file. And you can see I have many templates of Git ignore files that I can actually add. If I'm writing a C project, a PHP project, a Drupal project, you can see it's actually quite a lot. But because I'm a C# programmer, I will go ahead and use the Visual Studio Git ignore template and go ahead and initialize this. Okay, so I think I'm ready and good to go now. Normally, so I'll just walk through this part. In the next episode, I will actually get started writing this project, and then we'll see how everything works out fine. Okay. So pipelines is where I'm able to automate builds. I'm not sure this announcement should have gone away. I'm able to automate my builds and releases, but because I've not really written any code, I will leave this as it is for now. In subsequent episodes, I will actually go ahead to configure all these pipelines, and we'll see how awesome it is to do stuff like that. Environments is where I'm able to manage my deployments. So I can have a staging environment or a production environment, a dev environment for my project. And you see, I can add my environments here. So I can add my resources later to them, and I can add a Kubernetes namespace, a virtual machine, or whatever. But I don't want to bore us too much with this right now, so I'll go ahead and ignore this part. Releases is where I manage how I deploy my code. So let's say I finish writing my code, my build is successful, I want to push it out to my users. This is where I manage that pushing out. So I don't have to worry about pushing the code now from my laptop and wait for X number of hours for the code to actually deploy to my server. I'm able to actually manage that from inside here. Library is is where I manage all my variable groups, where I manage all my secure files, and whatever kind of stuff that I need to bundle with my application, but I don't want to expose it in my source code or in an external repository. This is where I manage all of that. Where's my mouse? Okay. Deployment groups. Deployment groups helps me to manage my deployments to virtual machines and servers. I will go ahead to actually do this in subsequent episodes. I just wanted to show us how that works out. So deployment groups is helps me to be able to push my code to multiple virtual machines or target machines in parallel or sequential, as the case might be. So that's deployment groups for you. I'll deal with that much later on in subsequent episodes. And also, test plans is where I manage the tests for my projects. Progress report shows how my tests are actually what's it called now? How my tests are passing and failing. And you can see I have one test plan, how the tests I've actually added. I can see all those inside here. You can see my test here, and you can see if they are passing or failing. I can see the threads, which one is happening, which one is failing, which one is succeeding, and all that. I can see if I'm running tests, I'm able to see how many tests I've completed, how many have failed inside here. But currently I have none, so I'm seeing nothing inside there. But when we get started, we start adding codes to this, we'll be able to see how that works out. Also, load test enables me to do sort of load testing on my web applications. So I have a website that I need to know, will it succeed, will it crash under heavy traffic? Load test helps me to be able to manage that. So I can do a new load test on my server, and you can see multiple. So I can do a URL based test maybe for my website or whatever service I have running, uh, for me. So that is that part. We'll actually deal with this a little bit more as we progress in subsequent episode of this stream. And artifacts is where I'm able to manage all the dependencies. So, for example, if I have some sort of libraries that I use in my organization, and these libraries are not available publicly, or they don't change that much, there's no need for me to compile them and push them with my code every time. I'm waiting for it to build. Or maybe this artifact takes like 18 hours or multiple hours to build. But nothing actually changes in them. So I'm able to put them in here and add them to my project rather than having to push them alongside my code and wait for X number of hours before my code publishes. But we'll deal with this much later as we advance in subsequent streams. So, okay, so I think the page actually just showed up now. So you can see the project stats page has actually changed. I have 11 work items created, 2 commits by 1 author. Thank you, Olushino. Um, so I'm able to see the commits made by authors. We'll actually see as we progress in writing this in this project. I'm actually not sure what code to write yet, but I'll figure something out before next week, hopefully. Uh, on all that. So you can see the stats have changed. So if I have builds, I'll be able to see them here. But currently, because I've not configured any build or release pipeline, I'm not seeing anything of such here. And you can see all that. So let me now actually go ahead to add more descriptions to this. So let me go ahead and edit this. So I can also add tags to this. Well, Saturday is supposed to be capital S, I think. That means all my other spellings will be capital. I'm that proud. I can either select my about from whatever project I have or use my wiki. I prefer using wikis as a personal note. So I'll select an existing wiki. I can see that wiki I added earlier on, and that is what I'm actually gonna use. And you can see I have my so the purpose of actually having this about description is, say for example you work in an organization that has a lot of programmers, you hire developers every day. It reduces the onboarding time you spend with developers on a project because they can go ahead and read this. Even old developers on the project, maybe they've lost track of whatever is going on, they're able to have one source of truth to actually get started, to get information or whatever they need about the project you're running. So um, this is 3:50 p.m. and I think I should end the stream for today. We'll continue from here next week. So if you have any questions now, I will actually go ahead to answer them. So if you have questions, I'll just wait for about 3 5 minutes so you can post the questions right there. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, this is what I wanted to show. Okay, so if you got questions now, I'll just wait around for about 3 minutes for the questions to come up. Just as an announcement, I also have a podcast. The link is okay. Where's my finger? Yeah, right there. That link right there is where you get links to my podcast if you need to learn what I think about developer life and all that. So questions. If there were no questions, I might go ahead and end the stream for today because I actually need to do it. Okay, since there are no questions, so guys, thank you for joining today's stream. I will um if you're on YouTube, this recording will be available much later on YouTube. It just take some few seconds to encode, and you can go ahead to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notifications when that is up. But I will focus on switching today. Oh, okay. If you just joined a few minutes ago, you can actually watch the replay because this video will be cached on my Twitch stream. So you can actually go ahead and watch the replay, and also the video will be on YouTube for you to post your comments. So if you like to do that, so you can just watch out here. So you can follow that YouTube channel for the videos when it comes on for you to watch. And if you have questions there, you can post it in the comments window. I will see them and I will definitely answer them. So guys, thanks for joining today's episode of Smooth Dev Saturday. I hope you're keeping safe. Please follow instructions from the health practitioners around you. Stay home, stay safe. We'll get through this coronavirus thing. So guys, thank you for joining again. I don't know how many times I will say that, but yeah, I want to say thank you for joining. This is actually the stream that has had the highest number of viewers so far since I started. So I want to say kudos to you guys for no kudos, not for kudos. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining. Bye.